Hello, and welcome back to the Write Your Path podcast. My name is Lolly Spindler. I'm a writer, editor, book doula, and writing coach. And today on the pod, we have my dear friend who, I must say, even before I introduce him, he's a professional piñatero. Like, he's a professional piñata maker, okay? Like, how fucking cool is that? So I'm going to let him introduce himself. We're also going to be speaking a little bit of Spanglish here. So, whatever comes out first is what's going to come out. So bear with us here. So I'm going to let him introduce himself because I think he has the coolest job ever.
Hola, hola. Thank you, Lolly, for welcoming me. So I'm Juan Pablo Lascurain. I'm the creator of Mugak. It's my art project where I explore paper in general. I went to college for architecture, but then I realized that my creative needs wasn't satisfied through architecture, so I started to explore in so many ways, and that's why I ended up doing piñatas.
That is so cool. Honestly, I think I have many friends who are professional artists now that started in architecture, and then it's like, I understand why they went that way because it is like a very expressive, creative medium, but you can only go so far, right? There's like lots of math, there's lots of formulas, there's lots of limitations, right? And so it's like you have this beautiful foundation, but then you're able to add like other layers on it. So it's like architecture is a great foundation to have to like build an artistic path on top of. Is that correct?
That's exactly. You're completely correct. Sometimes it's like in architecture, like when you became an artist, sometimes it's kind of you didn't success as an architect, so you have to take another way, But as I understand now, architecture gives you a really strong basement because you have history, and the history of architecture it's really close to art history in general, And then you also have design, you have a structure, you have I learned in architecture how to build my models with paper and cardboard, so that's why I also make the piñatas. So you have geometry, you have maths, you have color theory. At least I have it at my school, so that's why I understand how almost like all the architects wants to explore in so many ways, because also it's not just the architects who becomes an artist, it's also people who became historians or also became academists, or also more engineers. Engineers, aspects of architecture, let's say structure, let's say installation, electricity. Like you have to be an architect, but you also have to be an engineer. So it's a really complete and really so many phases that architecture can have. So
that's really beautiful.
For me, it still my passion. Like in general, when I'm walking in the streets, it's like I'm always looking at architecture. I understand the world through the architecture, But also, it's so like if you want to be an architect, it's so complicated. It's like it's a rough world. Yes. Building, construction. Basically, your work is solve problems, because construction is problems all the time.
It's very much like engineering, like you said.
Exactly. So you have to solve social problems, worker problems, physical problems, construction problems. At some point I was like, I want to live in peace.
That's true.
Making piñatas is the way much more peaceful.
I love that. It's like the most peaceful life you could choose.
It's like nobody can say me anything because I'm doing just a piñata. It's like I just avoid wanting to make piñatas.
Yeah, you're like, I don't have to make a socially responsible piñata.
Exactly. I don't have to. Yes, actually it is.
Oh my God.
No, I'm joking, but it's for real that piñatas are happiness, are celebration, are always linked to enjoy, So that's other way that I like to understand my work now.
I love that. It's reminding me, I just rewatched the series The Bear. I don't know if you've seen this.
I saw just a couple of parts.
Okay.
Not even a full episode.
Okay, I highly recommend you watch it. Okay. I literally just watched it for the second time. And they talk about this all the time is like the reason they want to be chefs, the reason they love making food is because food is always around celebrations. And the people who come to the restaurant are celebrating birthdays or engagements or anniversaries. Like it's always like a beautiful way to celebrate. So even though like there's the chaos of the kitchen, it's like we are doing this in service of the celebrations that other people are coming here to enjoy. And so I see that a lot in what you just said is like piñatas are always around celebration and joy. And so like you're adding to that with your creations.
Sure. And also I love cooking.
Okay.
I love cooking. But yes, I understand. And I also, I like to think that piñatas, they are memories too, you know, celebration, but also memories, because when people think about piñata, always they go to their childhood and say, when I was a child, I had this piñata, or anything that it makes you remind an celebration or an like a moment where you have a piñata and it becomes a memory. But also, it's not that they just live in the past. Also, if I saw it with the workshops that now this workshop and this piñata became a memory. You know, when a piñata it's in the scene or in the moment, it becomes part of the memory. Usually, I mean not always, but usually piñatas have this power. You know, so it's a really, for me, it's a really nice way to understand. See it.
That's really beautiful. I love that. So tell us, I know you already said like you kind of made the shift from architecture into making piñatas because you were creating all of these models out of paper and out of cardboard. So when did that click like happen in your mind that you were like, you know what, like I think there's something here that I want to explore?
Okay. After the pandemic, as so many creators and so many projects started after the pandemic. So I was thinking what I want to do. So at that time I was working with my cousin in Tulum as an architect and also like a property manager or anything. And I was like really tired because it wasn't anything creative, you know. So I wanted to do something creative because I was like really frustrated because I wasn't creating. So I decided I always liked to draw, so I had a lot of notebooks full of drawings, and my boyfriend told me, why you don't start to make art? And I was like, me? Actually, I was afraid to say that. When I was saying I'm an artist, I was like, what are you doing now? What are you doing now? And I was like, artist, you know, like I was
like the
really,
imposter syndrome.
Yes, imposter, and also as I told you later, in architecture, sometimes that means that you didn't success in architecture. So it was at some point, now it's not like that for me, but at that point I was thinking that I failed on architecture, you know? So I didn't want it because I love it, but also I didn't want to do architecture anymore. So with my draws, I started to make, I was like wanted more for those draws, you know. So I wanted to make it an object or an sculpture or however you want to call it, and I want to explore it more deeper. So
like a 3D drawing.
Exactly.
Like how can I make this?
Because as an architect, you always want to build. You always want to make it real. Like for me, my draws are projects, not just draws, you know. So I started to, at that point also, we moved from Tulum to Mexico City. So we didn't have like a lot of money, or we didn't have, for example, if I want to do marble sculptures, I don't know how to do marble sculptures. I don't know how to do metal or steel sculptures or concrete even, you know. So, and I didn't have the studio, the tools, because if I want to do ceramic, I need an oven. If you want to do, you need a lot of tools, knowledge, time, space. If you work with chemicals, you have to have an appropriate space, and I work from my house. So I realized that that's after time thoughts, like at that time,
thinking about it,
exactly. If I come back in the time, but at that point it was like, what I have, we just moved, so I have a lot of cardboard, and I say, I'm gonna do a piñata. No, like I started to thought like maybe these explorations through the sculptural side of the piñata. Piñata is always have been inspired by characters from Disney or you know, like
or Donald Trump.
Exactly, or
which I think is my personal favorite. It's like, oh, let's beat the shit out of that. Yes, please.
See, piñatas are for everything that is important in the society, and also that the classic, the traditional piñata, but much more than that, it's a really old and really special technique, and it's really accessible because almost everybody can do it. Like the child do it because it's actually really easy to do it. Of course, with the time I've been developed my technique and I have my own language, so of course it's not just a simple piñata, because when the people ask me about my path, I say I did everything just by piñatas, you know, like I mean, people say, but they are not just piñatas, and I'm like, I know they are not just piñatas, but they are at the end they are just piñatas.
Right. It goes through like this whole evolution. It's like a circular evolution.
This cycle for me it's really easy really clear to see it when I make my piñatas, and I have to make the packaging or the. I have to, the packaging, and the packaging is also cardboard, you know, so the piece is cardboard, and then I cover it with cardboard to protect it, so it's like, it's this full cycle of pieces, so yes, it's something like that.
Wow, that's so cool. I feel like it's so interesting because even though obviously the pandemic was terrible and a lot of people died, I feel like so many people that I've interviewed on this podcast, their creative pursuit, entrepreneurial journey it was birthed during the pandemic. So even though it was like this really dark time in like our history of humanity, it also served as like a beautiful guiding light for people to be super introspective and be like, you know what, the path I'm on right now is not fulfilling me. It's not what I want to do in my future. And it really made us look inside and kind of redirect our lives in a different way. And I think that's really powerful.
Claro, sí. If you were someone who, like, if you were about to die, you was thinking, what I'm doing with my life. It's what it happens to me. Like, okay, I was 30 years at the time, 39, and I was like, okay, it's time to start to do the things that I really want, you know, like if I want to become a designer, if I want to become like being creative, if I want to be a creative, I have to start to doing it, you know, not just thinking that someday it's gonna happen. Like,
you have to start.
For me, it was like of course I was afraid, I was scared, I was sad, I was confused, I was like everybody, you know, it wasn't just me. Everyone in this world was affected by the pandemic, you know, in so many ways, or economically, or whatever, call it what you want. So that crisis helps you to walk through these new paths. That what I want to do next. So that's why I understand that so many projects are from the pandemic, you know. And now 5 or 6 years later, we are looking back and say, wow, 6 years already.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
I can't believe it. I feel like time definitely was altered, like after the pandemic.
After the pandemic, the time passed so fast.
Yes.
It's like everything, 1 year, other month, other week. It's like, wow.
I think, the saying like time flies when you're having fun, I think because like the world paused during COVID, once we appreciated more our daily lives and routines, right? And so it was like all the time it's like, wow, this is like time flies when you're having fun because I'm living life again. And so I feel like that's why it's like felt like it's sped up. I don't know. That's my theory.
For me now, I don't know if it's going to be that feeling forever, but now I'm feeling that when you're having fun, when you're really fully enjoying with all your sense, the time I don't want to say slow, but for example, when I'm surrounded with my friends or when I'm traveling for a weekend travel or a small holiday, I feel like I enjoy, like I mentalize or I mentalize myself to enjoy every single moment. So every hour, every time, if it's gonna be just 2 nights, the 2 nights I just enjoy it. You know? So at some point, I also like I feel when I'm stressful and when I'm like with my head running really fast, time goes so fast. But when I'm present, when I'm here, when I'm like doing my things, time goes. I don't want to say slower, but maybe the reasonable way to measure the time, you know?
You're like fully present.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it feels more like worth it to live these minutes or hours, you know?
Yeah.
Sí.
That's really beautiful. Sí. And just speaking of that, since we're on this subject, do you have any mindfulness practices that you do? Do you like meditate? Do you journal? Do you have a gratitude practice? Do you have anything when you are like in the stressed states that can help bring you back into presence?
I do yoga. I practice yoga. And you know, sometimes the yoga group that I go, it's really mindful oriented. It's like really slow, like you have meditation. It's not just because other yogas that I went, they are more corporal, you know.
Oh yeah, they're like physical. Rocket. Yeah.
You have to have a lot of condition, and this one is really slow, but it's really good for your mind.
Yeah.
Also, I don't necessarily do it for mindfulness, but it does help me a lot.
It forces you.
It's walking. I love walking. I love taking 1 hour walking, or if I have, I don't know, 45 minutes walking to the next place that I'm going to walk for sure.
Oh, I love that.
And it helps me in so many ways because it helps me to calm. I usually don't listen to music while I'm walking, so I'm completely present. And I see, because one of my biggest inspiration resources are observation, the architecture, the people.
Wow.
You know, Mexico City, it's really stimulating, and you are always, and I love to not analyze, but to observe or to having this gaze all the time through to the iris gaze, like, because you see things, maybe stupid things, you know, it doesn't have to be anything in particular, but maybe the contrast between the napkin with the table, or maybe the glass, maybe someone else's outfit, you know. So walking, it helps me to connect, to understand, to think. I think a lot when I'm walking. So walking is really, really nice. And no, meditation, I used to do it in the past, but no.
Okay.
Honestly, I mean, I didn't do yoga.
It sounds like you're doing walking meditation. So. That's really interesting you say that too, because I can't remember if it was like a podcast I was listening to or something, but the person suggested that when you're walking to not listen to music or a podcast, because have constant input, like we're constantly inputting stuff into our system. And so if we can just walk around without having any input like that and just like notice our surroundings, that's really helpful to our brains, especially since our, you know, attention span is deteriorating year over year with technology. It's like one of our ways to kind of reinforce that system to start paying attention and being present again, just by like decreasing our input. So that's really interesting you just said that, because I literally just listened to that.
And also Mexico City is really noisy, so it's really hard to even add more sounds, you know, like you have all the sounds from the city, and then music or a podcast in the street is like too much for me.
Yeah, that's true.
I sometimes do it, but usually I prefer to work with the music.
Yeah. See. And I also love that you use that time as inspiration for your art. That's very cool. That's funny. You were just talking about the artist gaze, because I was just in San Miguel de Allende, like we were talking about. And I was literally just walking somewhere yesterday, and there was like it was like a piece of bread. It was so silly. But somebody had left like a quarter chunk of a bread like on this little, kind of like almost like a little outside of a house. But it was like this beautiful painted house. It was just like this little piece of bread. And I was like, how cute is this? You know, stuff like that. That's just like, I want to capture this forever because it's adorable. And like, I love that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's fun that you said, because I'm doing a collection of nichos inspired by things and houses that I saw in San Miguel de Allende.
Oh my god! I love that.
I saw a melon. It's a watermelon? Watermelon.
Oh, a cantaloupe.
I kind of got it in a really funny way, so I made a piece inspired in that. San Miguel is art. San Miguel it's a city not just surrendered, but made it by art, by artists. It's full of art. You see art everywhere. It's really aesthetic. It's really beautiful. It's folklore, folky. It's funny. It's colorful. It's beautiful. It has everything. I understand what you say, because I feel it so many times in San Miguel. The most simple thing that you see, that you say, it's like, wow. Thanks, life.
Right? It's like a piece of bread, and I was like, I have to take a picture of this piece of bread, like just left outside.
It's a San Miguel de Allende effect. A lot of artists call San Miguel de Allende their home because it's a really nice place to be. Honestly, it's one of my favorite cities in Mexico.
It's beautiful.
Of course, it's touristic, and of course, it's everything. But even that, it has a really nice understand as a product the city. It's really well done, it's like it's perfect. They understand the concept. They do all the stores, all the design. It's in San Miguel, it has the same language, so it feels really cohesive, like the ¿cómo se dice? Como la ay, se me fue en inglés y en español.
Me pasa igual, me pasa.
La esencia, the essence of the city,
the essence,
is really cohesive. It's really...
That's true. With like the colors and like the distribution of like shops and galleries and cafes. I agree with city planning.
The dress, how the people dress.
All the hats.
Fantasy.
Everybody has their hats.
So it's really nice. It's
really beautiful.
And it's so that when I go and it's calm, that there is no tourists there. I feel like I'm in the 1920s and it's a revolution. And I came Pancho Villa with their horses, and I was like, I don't know. It's really fun because you can feel the history. It's really nice.
That's funny you say that because I was there during the week. I've only ever been there during the weekends when there's tons of tourists, and I was there like
Don't go
Monday and Tuesday night, and it was beautiful because there was like nobody around, and it was just like people who lived there, and I was like, oh my god, this is way chiller. Like I loved it.
During weekends, it's almost impossible to walk. It's really complicated. It's completely worth it to go during weekdays.
So tell me more about this project that you're doing based on San Miguel de Allende. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued.
No, it's just a small collection of paper mache niches. I already have an exhibition with Mario Ballesteros. He has this place called Ballista. And it's a design and art gallery that he has. And we made a collection with niches inspired by Luis Barragan.
Wow!
And we already made it in last year, and now I'm working on this new collection with inspired by the houses in San Miguel de Allende. But I extended it to houses and things because also I got inspired by so many things that I saw in San Miguel de Allende. So I'm still working on it. It's almost done, and I don't know. We have a really strong relationship with San Miguel because my boyfriend is a photographer, so he's always going and coming. He goes much more than me, but when he needs an assistant.
You're like, I will come. I can help. I love that.
I'm perfect for help.
You're like, I will hold whatever you need.
I'm really bad helping. Sorry.
You can be the model. You'll just pose.
Actually, it's really funny because there's like 4 or 3 hotels that I'm a model because
I love it.
they don't have models. So
you're like, I'll do it.
I have like 3 wives. I have like I don't know, like so many personalities.
I love it.
This model. Yes, it's funny.
I love it. Well, if you ever need to switch into a new career, you already have your lookbook.
You see.
For your modeling career. I love it. So tell us a little bit more about your other projects, because I know you've done piñatas for festivals, and you've also had shown in local galleries here. So tell us a little bit more about these projects that you have, how do they come to you and find you and ask you for I'm so intrigued by all of that. Tell us your process.
I'm gonna start with this. Every piece is different. Every people who comes to me, every gallery, every project that I do, it's different. At the beginning, I want to make something more with a structure more, but at some point I just released because every people is different, every project is different. So mostly I work with collectible art. I work with galleries and I made art wall. I made a sculpture or I made whatever piece that I want to share in the gallery, and I sell it as a regular art gallery, like collector's art. But then I also have this part of Mugak, which is more focused on festivals, on weddings, on happenings with brands, hotels that they invite me and I make a happening in the lobby, or you know, like it's usually it's related to something in particular, you know, like a event or a brand or a festivity like Dia de Muertos or however, and I do. I mix like the installation, the mini installation, and then I can do workshops or mix it with some other things, and that came through. No, usually they come through Instagram. Like someone called me that, listen, we're having this festival or this wedding or however, and I start to make a personalized design because usually they send me like the colors of the event, they send me the look and feel, they send me the mood of the event, and I design something personalized to the piece, and it's really fun because I've been for me it's amazing how for me that's my most funny part because I do the setup and I work with tools, I feel like it's when I really mix my architecture with my artist aspects, because I have to understand where I'm gonna mount my pieces, how I'm gonna display it, because also as an architect I analyze the space and I say, because sometimes the customer call me, I want something in this wall. Okay, let me go and I will let you know, and I propose like, okay, this wall is good, but maybe if we put it in this wall, in this other, because you have this view from here, every, like so many possibilities to understand the piece, not just through the piece by itself, also by the communication with the space, the dialogue. So that's a really work. And also coming back to the festivals, for me it was a really nice way to because the piñatas are sometimes complicated to put it like as a collector's art, because piñata is not gonna last forever, of course, because they are not made for last forever. But in the events, it's what they need, just a temporary piece for the event. And historically, piñatas has been doing that, decoration for events, and then the performance and breaking it, but they are the main characters of the party, so in some point it's the same, just having in bigger sizes, because sometimes they are like, I'm not gonna say monumental, but they're super big, they are big, they're huge. I have to full like a truck on with the pieces, so it's really nice. And when the people call me to doing that projects, my heart it's full of love. It's like, so if you want to hire me to do your event, feel free to do it, because it really like it fits me in so many ways. Like me nutre, me hace feliz, it makes me happy. It's where I really saw how my works connect with society. We like, it's a full cycle again, no?
And I also see like another parallel with food again, right? Because like you put so much love into this thing that is not for forever.
Claro.
Right? Like if you're preparing a beautiful dish for someone, like it's to be eaten, it's to be enjoyed, and it's no longer going to exist. So with a piñata, it's very much the same.
I didn't thought about it, but it's true. It's true. Yeah, it's really ephemeral, it's like always, it's not gonna last forever. And also for me, when I was really beginning with this pad on paper, because also the sculptures I make with paper, I always, all my practice, even if it's events or it's pieces, it's through paper or cardboard, like all the universe, it's paper. So at the beginning, I was this feeling that the people doesn't feel that the sculptures were real, like in some point they are like a prototype, or they are fake, or they are like they want something made with marble, with concrete, or at least in my mind, or at least it was my perception, And I was thinking, and I realized that the two pillars of the civilizations are basically the Bible or any religious book,
yep.
and also the Constitution. You know,
yep.
in some way, the religion's book, let's say Bible, Torah,
yep.
or however every religion has their own, and how they follow everything this on these books.
Yeah.
And then the states, the countries, even all private property, it's just yours because it says on this paper.
That's
you know,
so interesting.
So paper, it's what makes things real.
Yeah.
You know, it's like also in Mexico we have a dicho, like if you want something to be real, put it on paper. You know, like write it down and it's gonna be for real. Papelito habla, or you know, like paper. It's the most for me. It's where you canalize everything and you put it in something physical, even if it's just paper. So this means paper. It doesn't have value just for paper. It has value for what it represents or what it means. So it's something that I also think about in my work. Like I love to understand like also why this need to have everything forever. And I also, as an architect, it's an issue that I have, that I want my pieces to last a lot. And I go to the parks or I go to the streets and I see these concrete sculptures and even they are broken. You know?
You're like damaged by sun or wind.
So it's like I don't want to fight with it. Like pieces has their own I don't want to say life, but destiny, you know? So sometimes like in our minds, everything have to last forever, and it's not, even us, we are not, we will not last forever, you know.
And I feel like there's more value in things that don't last forever, right? Because you have to enjoy them while they're here. So it's almost like you enjoy the piece more because you know it's not gonna last forever.
Claro, it's how I understand. Of course, some people. For me, as a Capricorn architect, it's like it has to last forever. There is no sense. It's like I'm fighting with the mirror every day. Yes, just that.
I love that though. That's really beautiful. Just being able to be like, no, it's here for however long it needs to be here, and then.
And it can be years. It doesn't have to be like it's not gonna disappear tomorrow. You know, it can be years, and also you can see how it's transforming.
Yeah, with like the light and everything.
Claro.
Like, I went to an event for Art Week where we were in the Museo Jumex, and we were with the head of restoration, and it was so enlightening because I never thought about all the things that go into making sure, like, she was the head of conservation and restoration, like how to make sure like any piece of art actually can last for long, especially because she had some pieces that were made from paper. And she's like, because this is made from paper, it's like super susceptible to damage from sun, from like the air. So we have to be like in this box, it has to be at this temperature. It can't have any direct sunlight. Like all of these things that when we walk around and we look at paintings or any piece of like art, we don't think about. And to see it through her eyes. And it was also really cool because the artist was actually there. He joined us halfway through and he didn't know half this stuff. And so he was learning about his artwork through her. And it was like this beautiful thing. I felt like a fly on the wall, like learning from like this master artist and this master of like conservation. And I was like, what? Like, how am I here right now? It was so cool. And so it's really interesting to like see it through that lens and like see it through like this piece maybe worth millions today, but like it could break tomorrow because it's made from something that's super susceptible to the environment. And if there's a small change, poof, it no longer has value. So it's really interesting to kind of start looking at art through that way. I think it's like a very beautiful lens to look through it.
For me, it's really interesting to see. Not just in this way, you know, in all ways. Like in the... Like I like to speak about formats, formatos. I don't know if it's right in English, if it's the same word, but the formats. I mean, not just canvas, not just paper, not just drawings. Like I like as a plastic. Here in Mexico we have this term called artista plástico, which it means not that you work with plastic. It means that you work with all materials and you work with the materiality of the. Like it doesn't have to be any technique in particular. You explore techniques, objects, materiality, so that means being a plastic artist, but I think in English it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
that term.
I think it's more like, I don't know if it's like multi-discipline. I don't really know. I'm gonna look it up because I
don't know the answer.
Yeah.
So, but as artista plástico, I like to explore.
Yeah.
Like it's because art is also really. The structure of art is really strong, so sometimes became an artist and everybody wants to let you know or to tell you how art has to be in order to be art. It's like, okay, but explore. Okay, of course, and all of these rules or structure, it's there for a reason. I don't want to be like, oh fuck all of these people and do whatever you want, do it.
But also, also would do that.
Pero háganlo. No. I don't want to say that. Of course, I respect the institutions, and of course, it's a sense because that's why we have all of these patrimonio artístico. Because otherwise, like it's good. It's good when the pieces last at least 100 years or 200 years. Is of course something really. Interesting, as you say, with this lady, the conservator, it's a full degree.
Yeah,
you know, it's
it's chemistry. It's a chemistry.
It's chemistry.
I was like, what? This is so technical.
Of course. So the only thing I want to say is explore different formats in so many ways. Like art is not about. Like the pieces that you do. The piece is the result of what you are thinking, but the art is that you live through art. The artist has to. I mean, doesn't has to. It's not like an obligation.
Yeah.
It's just the way I understand it. But the artist has to. What I'm trying to do is live as an artist. Understand life as an artist. Like my artist gaze. Like if I walk in the streets, I walk as an artist. You know, like, and that's the important thing. Not my pieces.
Yeah, it's the process.
It's the process, exactly. And it's how you build yourself through this through art. You know, for me, it's much than that. It's like that. Sí.
I love it. It's like your artist philosophy.
Exacto.
I feel like your next pieces are gonna be your piñatas made out of legal documents. Because I don't know, I'm a little witchy sometimes, you know. But I feel like since you were talking about this, and I'm like, I can see this be like the next iteration to be, because right now it's very much more like analogous and metaphorical, right? And I feel like you're gonna make it much more literal. I don't know, that's what I just think.
No, I like it. Thank you. Me gusta, sí. I also have these. We went to Argentina, and my friend gave me these magazines from 1940.
Wow.
So I have these magazines where I also want to make some pieces with that. But sometimes it's hard because as we talked before, it's not what paper, the value is for what it represents. Yes. So sometimes using these 1914 papers, also it means a lot for me, you know. So I don't know how to use it. So I'm still exploring that way, but of course it's really nice to because being honest and being vulnerable.
We love that. We love the vulnerability.
Sometimes I feel that as an architect, I create through this. Like I really care the results, you know. Like my creative process. It's a method, you know. It's like, okay, I made it. I make some drawings. Sometimes I make drawings. Sometimes I don't make. But in so many ways, I have this final image in my mind or in my computer. So I like art when it's more about feelings, about more like things that it cannot be in a. For example, I have this friend called Montse Bennett. She's really talented. I love her. Hola amiga. Saludos. She has a really nice piece. I always put this example because I really love it. she made this soap, jabones soaps, with the shape of broken glass.
Oh, wow.
You know, and they are with glycerin, so they are transparent.
That's so cool.
They are called sea glass because while you are using it, they start to become sea glass. Because she was inspired by the sea glass.
That's so cool.
So she make molds through broken glass, and the soap looks like a broken glass.
That's so
but
cool.
the meaning of this is it has to become glass. Like the time they use, it's what you have to use the piece in order to revelarla, to see it. So for me, it's so poetic.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. So sometimes, of course, I feel like my work can be poetic, but you are always like thinking more and more and more. So sometimes I feel my work is so plastic or so like for an image, you know, of course I consider they are beautiful and I like it, but I want to, I'm in this process to walk through and see more, to walk more deeper in order to be a better artist. I don't know, to go more, because art, it's a really strong voice. It's a power that artists we have, and it gives you. For me, it's impressive. Still, I mean, with the time, it's more and more impressive how it's your voice.
Yeah.
It's like the people give you platforms. I mean, now we have this platform, and we're talking about my art because I do piñatas. You know? So it's really interesting how art, it can be so. It can speak so loud with art and with so simple gestos. Like with so simple. I don't know, like with so simple ways to speak. The art, it speaks. So I love that. I love that, and I love to see my friends using this voice to express themselves and to live their paths. Their paths. Yes.
It's like learning a different language. You know.
I think that. I think artists speaks visual language, and we communicate through visual language, of course, and we have to learn how to speak it, and speak it is making it,
right.
You know?
So I'm in the process of like writing my book right now, and it's definitely what I have been wrestling with. It's also like very much like a yogic tenet, like it's very much a yogi thing, is like detaching from the outcome, right? And like not letting the result that you want, just like you were talking about with architecture, like influence the process, because the process is the art in very much that way. Sure. Like me writing my book, whether it's, you know, for myself or if I'm launching a program, whatever project I'm working on in that way, like the process is what matters. But it's hard to like kind of divorce our mind from this notion of like the outcome or the result, right? Because sometimes you're working on something and something completely different comes out than you had originally imagined. But like, that's the beauty of it. So it's like detaching from the result and detaching from the outcome and realizing that the process is the point.
Claro, sí, the process is the point. And I don't know, sometimes, of course, you make pieces, at least in my way, I make pieces and at the end I don't like it. And I'm like...
Burn it, no.
Smash it.
Like, this is its intended purpose. It's meant to be smashed. So we're smashing this one.
Especially because they're piñatas.
Exactly.
So...
like this was your destiny.
No, sometimes I don't like it, and someone come to visit me or anything, and they said, I love that piece. And I was like, wow, because when you are just thinking like... Sometimes being an artist, I always think artists have to grow in community, but when you practice, like in your daily life, you are alone, and nobody come to you and say, you should choose this color, or you should, you know. So sometimes we have to take 2 steps apart and see it with perspective, and to hear what other people say about your work, because there is a lot of answers to, like, sometimes you don't feel it like in good proportions, or you don't feel like the color match perfectly as you like it, but other people with other path of life, they understand it differently, you know. Also now with the most famous artworks, we understand it in some way different than in the way it was at that time, you know. So it's about how we think, about our perspective, of course about trends, like what's going on in that time. I always get like 15 years ago, Frida Kahlo, she was of course famous, but not as now it's a phenomenon, you know, like everybody now she became like Miro, like Picasso, you know. So how she ended up in this way, because like after with her
she was
work,
ahead of her time,
it was just because of the interpretation of her work and her history. So but it's just interpretation. So,
exactly. Or like Van Gogh, who was completely unknown during his lifetime, and now is one of the most famous artists in the world.
Exactly. So it's like when you finish your artwork, you put it like you give it to the world, and now it's, at least I understand, it's not mine anymore. It's like now it's from the internet of the world. You know? No, it's from everybody. Yes.
And I feel like maybe if you make a piece and you're like, this is not what I wanted, maybe it's just like, well, then it's not for me, it's for someone else. Like something was working through me to create this for someone else. Because that happens to me when I'm writing too. I'm like, this is not what I set out to do. And then I'm like, you know what? Because it's not for me. But it's for someone else out there, you know?
That's a good way to understand it. No, I'm Capricorn again, so for me it's like
less flexible.
I'm the worst. I have to quit now. I don't have any future at this. And then okay, maybe next day is okay. Maybe I have. And sometimes it happens to me a lot that I have a piece and no, it's horrible. I don't like it. I leave it there, and months later I came and look this beauty. When I made this, I like it. You know, with
that's
the
amazing.
time and the perspective. Because also something that I also understand with my art is that I saw it in all the ways that you you know, all the issues, all the
flaws,
defects, all the flaws. So you saw it like
you only see that.
You only see that, but also you see every part of the piece. Like you see it underneath, on the top, on the side, and you see it like 5 centimeters distance. So you have it right in your face. But when someone sees it in a gallery, they will not have the same understand as you have as the piece, you know, like because
like, oh, I fucked up there. Like they're not gonna know that.
Claro, Or you see this detail and you don't like it, and people like it's like when you have a pimple on your face. It's like, oh, everybody's gonna look at your pimple. No, everybody's looking at your essence.
They're looking at their own pimples.
Claro. Exactamente. Because I remember when I was a child, if I
you had a stain?
I have a stain in my clothes. I asked to my father, I have a stain in my uniform for going to school. And my father, don't worry, nobody will notice. And I went to the school, you have a stain in your puta madre.
You're like, you lied to me.
My mother didn't want me to be annoyed. Like, nobody will be like. My father is so easy, so he was like.
He's obviously not a Capricorn.
Claro, he's not a Capricorn. And I was like, you told me.
Oh my god, I love that.
See. And it's the same with the art, you know, like. No, but with art is different because. It's true that nobody cares. Like the people.
It's because it's your baby. It's nobody else's baby. Right? And you're more critical of your own baby.
Claro. And the expectations are on you. Because the other people doesn't have expectations of your work. Like in terms of, I mean, if they can have some expectations, but they are not expecting like the same way are you expecting. Like they I mean, they have general expectations, but you have particular expectations, you know. So, and also, it's a really bad, like, enemy for artists. This perfectionism or this way to control. I learned how to release the control and how to flow more with the pieces and to be more open to the process. Of course.
Yeah. I feel like control is something we're wrestling with throughout our lives, right? Like we think we're like, oh, we're better at it now. And then it's like a new face of it comes up. You're like, no, you're back. I thought I already dealt with you.
It's like Mario.
Yeah.
Super Mario. Like you have always another level.
Yeah.
It's the most complicated, but then you finish and there is another level. So, it's like that.
Yeah.
Art is like that.
Yeah, very true. Well, thank you so much. If somebody wants to hire you or work with you, where can they find you online?
On my social media, I'm on Instagram and Facebook. It's at Mugak, Mugak. Or yes, through Instagram.
Okay.
Because I don't have a website.
Okay.
So, and on my Instagram, I post all my workshops. If you are visiting Mexico and you want to have a workshop, or also everything that I do, I post it on Instagram.
Yeah.
So.
And I highly recommend the workshops. Actually, we're sitting under one of my creations that I made at your workshop. There she is.
See, I have 2 workshops. I have the Piñata workshop, where you build your own mini piñata, and also I have the paper mache niches, which you make a mini nicho, and it's really nice because you build it from scratch.
Wow!
And it's really nice because you have you can express, like you paint it in your own way.
I love that.
So it's really nice. It's funny.
That's so cool. Well, thank you so much for being on. It was such a pleasure having you.
The pleasure was mine. Thank you for inviting me.
And thank you, everyone, for listening. Please like, follow, and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.
Adios.